Good morning and welcome to Legally Speaking with attorney Antoinette Osbourne. This program is for information purposes only. If you need legal advice, you can contact me, Antoinette Osbourne, at 718-502-9137. That's 718-502-9137. The office focuses on divorce, immigration, bankruptcy, real estate, and estate matters. We also do eviction proceedings. There is a second office in Jamaica, West Indies, that focuses on legal representation if you're looking to buy or sell property in Jamaica, or if you are looking to wrap up an estate. So this morning will be our final live. I am going back on the radio and it's a day change. It is actually on Saturdays, but it is at 7 p.m. and it will be on WPAT 9:30 a.m. So on Saturday, starting Saturday, which is coming, or next week, Saturday, November 3rd, I will be on WPAT 9:30 a.m. at 7 p.m. And what I will do is I will record the program and actually upload it by the following day. So it will also be on YouTube just in the event that you missed it. So this will be our final live on YouTube. This morning, as I had promised last week, I have spoken to one of my clients because I wanted him to come on to share his story, because it will be a cautionary tale to someone who ever ends up in this situation. So he'll be coming on shortly, but before he comes on, I wanted to give you just an insight concerning what happened with his application. Now, there is a form that can be completed by a green card holder to actually give up the green card, right? That is for you to abandon your permanent residence. And unknown to him, someone actually completed that form where he allegedly purported to give up his green card. Now, this is an application that cannot be reversed. So it's a dangerous form to fill, and it can cause dire consequences. And the instructions itself in Form I-407, which is you abandoning your green card. You're telling the US government that for whatever reason, you wish to give up your green card. So someone filled out this form without his knowledge. And for anyone who is thinking about giving up their green card, I'm going to caution you. I want you to think about this. I want you to be sure, because this is not something you can undo, right? And immigration has to be sure that this is in fact a voluntary act on your part. So when you sign this form, this is it. You're giving up your green card. And what you will see is people who are, especially outside of the United States, for more than a year, you meet a consular officer who is by the book. He's going to take you into secondary, because after a year of being outside the United States, it is deemed that you have abandoned the green card and you are no longer a permanent resident. So some people do get away with the officer despite this allowing them in. Some do not. And they'll take you into secondary. You'll be questioned because they want to be sure that you have really abandoned the green card, right? If you want to contest it, then of course you're going to end up in deportation proceedings. But for people who want to voluntarily give up the green card, they no longer want to remain a lawful permanent resident, or for the 2-year green card holders, they no longer wish to remain a conditional permanent resident. This is a form that you sign to actually give up your card, right? Now, previously the form cannot be filled in the United States, right? You must have filled the form outside of the United States, and you would have given the form to the embassy or an international field office for the Department of Homeland Security. And as of today, this has changed. And this is the thing with immigration, it's constantly changing. And now to complete this form, you actually have to mail it in to the Vermont Service Center. So, and those of you who are considering giving up the green card, this is a form you would fill out. But prior to doing this, I'm going to encourage you to carefully think of this. You know, if it is something that you are inclined to do, try and ensure that, God forbid, you want for someone to file for you in the future, you have a relative that has the ability to file for you. And I have seen where people have given up their permanent resident. They came here, they did not like it. And this place is really the place for the soldiers. Yeah, you have to be like a real soldier to survive this place, because it can be a culture shock. And if it is that you are not used to initially a struggle life, right? If you have to come here and you have to struggle a bit, it's going to be kind of difficult for you, right? So generally you would mail this in to the Vermont Service Center. However, only in emergency situations will the consulate or an international field office for USCIS take the actual physical form from you, right? Caller, you are on the air.
Good morning, Miss Antoinette.
Morning, darling.
I pray all is well with you.
Yes.
I got this notice from the USCIS. I sent the 97 notice of action. I applied for my what was it? I sent it after my 2 years. I got the 10-year green card, and I got this letter from them that they extended the validity period of the card. So my husband was asking me to ask you if we can apply for the citizenship.
All right, so this is what happens to people who apply for the citizenship whilst their Form 751 is pending. They'll accept the citizenship application, however, they will not process it until after a determination is made, because this is a step application. They have to approve to ensure that the marriage was not fraudulent, so that has to be approved. And after that, then the citizenship comes into play. So if you do qualify, you can apply. It's just that there will be no determination until a decision has been made on to remove your conditions. All right?
Okay. So just let it flow then.
I mean, it's up to you. You could apply. It's just that it's not going to get adjudicated. It's just going to stay there until a determination is made on the removal of the condition on the green card.
Okay. Thank you, Ms. Have a blessed day.
Osbourne, you're welcome. Bye. All right. So for those of you who are considering that you want to give up the green card, right? Think about this carefully. When you fill out this form, there is no changing your mind, once it's approved. Once you put in an application and there has been a decision on the application, you can no longer withdraw it. Yeah. So there are no second chances with this. And once you have completed this form, you have actually given up your green card holder status, right? So whenever USCIS accepts this application, the next thing they do, because now your status is terminated, you're no longer a green card holder, and then they notify the IRS that you've abandoned your green card, right? So for tax purposes, the IRS is no longer going to look to you for any form of tax collection, right? This is going forward, because if you owe the IRS, no matter what, that debt does not go away. There are certain avenues that it can be discharged in bankruptcy, but that's having taken an assessment of the debt, right? All right. What is most important with abandoning this green card is that if you abandon your status as a permanent resident, you're not eligible for naturalization, because someone who doesn't have status cannot apply for citizenship. And this is the ramification with this form. When you complete this form, you're no longer a green card holder. So you cannot file for naturalization. You cannot file for citizenship. You are now in the status of someone who has absolutely no status. And this is the seriousness of Form I-407 when you're looking to abandon your status as a permanent resident, right? And the reason for this is to get naturalized, you have to be admitted as a permanent resident. And that is why, if you in fact sign this form, and some officers, when they realize that either you have been living outside the US, and some people think it's just if you're outside for 6 months or more. When you go to CBP, when you've come off the plane, you're entering the United States, your entire life comes up on that screen. And if your travel history, I don't care, you're coming here 5-6 times for the year. If you're coming 5-6 times for the year, you're on to the United States, and you're only spending like a 2 weeks here, a 3 days here, and in your home country, you're working, you're not paying any bills in the United States, you're not filing taxes in the United States, you do not have a job in the United States, your family's in your home country. And this is why the officer will take you into secondary inspection, because the whole purpose of that questioning is to determine whether or not you've actually abandoned the green card. So don't think because you're not spending more than 6 months outside the country, you're safe. Your travel history also determines whether or not you are in fact living in the United States and you have made the United States your permanent residence. And that's the whole essence of a green card. You are a lawful permanent resident. So, and no one really cares about your intention, it's your actions that speaks to this. And I'll tell you this, I've had clients who have filed for naturalization and this issue came up. My client was from Afghanistan, and in filing, he had to, Afghanistan is in turmoil, right? I've had several clients from there, and I will tell you this, that place is, it's in a rough place. And he needed to go in, because if you had that US citizen passport, it would have been easier, because the wife and the children were citizens. He was a green card holder, but he was here and he was working, but they were back home. But in order to get them out, he needed that US passport, right? And we eventually filed for the citizenship. He got it. But during the application process, he was there one time for 7 months, just 1 month over the 6 months. And it was such a headache that we had to prove that he did not intend, because there's a presumption once you're out for 6 months, but under a year, there's a presumption that you've abandoned the green card. All right. So when you sign this I-407, remember you have no status. You've abandoned the green card. You can't apply for naturalization because someone without status cannot jump straight to citizenship, right? And where an officer determines you've abandoned the green card and you dare go apply for citizenship, he's put in a position where he must put you in deportation proceedings. He's not taking that headache. Go to court, go before a judge, and stay in removal proceedings until the judge determines whether or not you actually abandoned the green card. And for the I-407, you signed this, that's it, you're done. Yeah? This is a form where it is a voluntary act by you to abandon the green card. So there's no turning back when you sign this form. So like I said, for people who are desirous of giving up their green card status, they no longer want to be a green card holder. Once you sign this form, that's it. You are no longer without status. And it has been approved by USCIS. You're no longer with status, and that's it. You're in a position of someone who has absolutely no legal status in the United States. So you have to know what you're doing when you are actually signing this form, right? Some people voluntarily want to give this up, because the tax system here can be burdensome, right? So some people will in fact give it up. So if an officer believes that you have abandoned your lawful permanent residence, and let's say you're outside of the country and you're coming in, they are in fact going to ask you to sign off on the form I-407. If you know that you had no intention to abandon your status, your position is that you should refuse to sign. If someone, even at your job, if someone is giving you a form and you're not comfortable signing it, you can refuse to sign. You can ask for a copy. You probably can get legal advice. You can refuse to sign. So you have to be very careful when you're signing forms, especially this form, because if you're coming from outside the country and the officer, after questioning you, determines that you have in fact abandoned your green card status, guess what? That's it. You are no longer a green card holder, right? You've signed the form, you've voluntarily given up your status. For those of you who want to contest it, you want to fight this in court, do not sign this form because it is a voluntary application on your part to give up your status as a lawful permanent resident. And lawful conditional residents are also treated in the same manner as people who have the 10-year green card. You want to give it up? That's fine. But make sure that because they want to ensure it's voluntary and you actually know what you're doing, right? So I'm going to have my client call in. Let me just kind of text him so he can call in so that you can hear the danger, what happened to someone where he didn't sign that form, right? Some of you pick up some Jezebels and they can no longer stand you. And because they believe that they gave you the card, they believe they have the right to take it away. So the form was sent in, he didn't sign it, and he believes that because the only person who would have known his information, because she's the person who filed for him, was the wife, right? So the form was sent in for him, giving up his status. Thank God he did not travel, because if he had ever traveled, because he did not know she actually filed the form. So we're just grateful that he had not traveled. And when she actually sent in this form, it was and I'll probably call him because he's actually at work and I'm not even sure if he's seeing this. So let me actually try to call him. Let's see. Oh, if he's actually calling me. Good morning, Tony. Can you hear me?
Yes, good morning, Ms. Osbourne.
All right. So this morning, we're going to just let everyone know what happened to you because I want people to be aware of the seriousness of this form, that it is a form when it's signed, it could actually put you in deportation proceedings. So we're just going to go through a series of questions and timelines so we can get the listeners to understand how, if anybody's in this position, I would have hoped that they were not the ones to sign the form. And there is a possibility if someone forges your signature on this form that you can still have status and you can file for your citizenship. Now, how long have you been a green card holder?
From 2018.
2018. All right. Now, how did you get the green card? Who filed for you? And bear with him because he's at work. Who actually put in an application for you?
My wife.
And she was a U.S. citizen. She is a U.S. citizen, right?
Yes, born
and raised. All right. So let's say, because what was the relationship between you and your wife like in 2022?
It wasn't going good.
Wasn't going good. All right. And
a matter of fact, it's from 21. It wasn't going that great. But before leading up to marriage, it was too perfect.
Excellent.
It was perfect.
It was perfect enough for you guys to even buy a house together, correct?
Correct.
All right. So this is someone who you had intended to have a life with. You are acquiring assets, looking forward to the future, but unfortunately the relationship broke down. What was one, and was that house one of the main contentions why the relationship broke down?
Yes, and a couple more things here.
All right. Now,
yeah, the constant comparison with ex,
She's constantly comparing you to her ex.
Yeah, because, I know appearance is everything.
Right.
Yeah, appearance is everything. But, sometimes I don't even like to go to the bar there. Yeah.
All right, and this is something.
It's not like I'm trying to impress someone outside. I'm a wife, so this is me.
All right.
I'm comfortable.
Okay. So relationship is going good, but still getting some little comparisons to exes. And I think, ladies, this is something that you and men too. This is something that you should not do. But no, the relationship is not at its best. And in the problem started to arise in 21, but by 22, it's sticky. And she wants you to give up your interest in the house, correct?
Correct.
All right. So now you're looking to file for your citizenship, but before filing for your citizenship, you are having an issue. So let's tell the listeners what you decided to do.
Yeah, I was thinking about, it was like going 5 years, I haven't went to Jamaica. Going a couple of years, yeah. I haven't went to Jamaica. So my passport was expired. And I had someone, how can I get a Jamaican passport without going to Jamaica? They said, okay, you can go Manhattan. And they said to me, why? Why wasting money getting a Jamaican passport? Why when you are here so long? You must qualify for citizenship. Just get your US passport.
Okay.
And I said, okay, that's a good idea, but I still go and get my Jamaican passport. So I said, you know what? Let me just do it. So I get the form. Was going through it when I look at, when it comes to the addresses now, you're like in the last 5 years address. When I look, I saw that you have to put like the day, the month, and the year. I don't remember all that. I don't remember all that. So I said, oh. So I was like, oh shoot, all my applications left at the house. That's the only way I could get it, or at the lawyer. And I was like, I'm not with her anymore, so I don't think I can use her lawyer to this. So
hold on, pause a second. So when the first green card application was being filed for, it was her lawyer that you had used to file for your adjustment?
Yes, because he's like immigration.
And it was a union. I think she got a discount because of her union. All right.
Even when they get in the house, he did it too because he do real estate.
All right. So now you want to file for the citizenship. You can't remember your address, and by this time you're out of the house, right? How is it that you end up leaving the house?
She kicked me out.
She kicked you out. All right.
Yes, I have it. I have the whole ordeal and my phone, the video. She attacked me, cursing, kicking my stuff down the stairs. But it's so embarrassing. I don't even show my family. I don't even show my sister. It's so embarrassing. I show no one, but I just have it.
All right. So she kicked you out of the house. You bought the house together. She decided that she doesn't want you, have an interest in the house. The relationship is broken down. She wants you out. And most men will leave because the next thing that is going to happen is they're going to call police on you, try to get an order of protection. Now you get arrested. You're in the criminal court system. So a lot of men don't want that drama, especially if you have a job where if you have a criminal record, it actually affects your job. The men are not going to engage in this drama with you. So you decide now you're leaving the house, but now you're filing for your citizenship. Your documents are in the house. You don't want to deal with her. You don't want to deal with her prior lawyer. So now you decide that you're going to request your records from immigration. So when
I'm gonna backtrack a little. I'm
absolutely
not diverted. Going, but she called police on me. Yeah.
She did call. So the police has been called on you before.
She assaulted me. She scratched me in the face. It was bleeding. Then she called police on me. When the police came, she was the one gonna get locked up. And because, she working for the city so long, almost 20 years, I didn't want no arrest go on her record. So, they can fire her for that. So I was lenient towards her. So they said she must leave me. Leave me at the house until I get somewhere to go, or how we gonna decide how the living condition gonna go. But I said, you know what? It's not safe with me and her in the house because she was on the phone calling our brothers. Her family was getting involved. So you know what? I have to leave because of my safety.
So you didn't want to, so the police is telling her to leave because you're the one who is, and when the police comes to the scene of the crime, the person who is most injured is going to be the victim, right? And the person who has less injuries, you're going to be accused. So the police is now telling her she has to go, leave you in the house. But then she calling her brothers, and culturally it's different. It's a different culture. You don't know if they're going to come to the house when you're there by yourself and attack you. So you decide to leave.
Yes, I didn't want it. I was a bit scared, you know?
Right. And in consideration of her job, because this is you now being considerate of her, and I want the listeners to see the level of compassion on your part. We're going to later see how there's no compassion on her part. So now there's a level of compassion on your part. You don't want her to lose her job. You don't want her to get arrested. There's a possibility that if you remain in the house, her brothers are going to come and attack you. So you now decide to leave the safety of your own home where you are paying bills to let her remain, right? Big man things now. All right, so you leave. So now you're looking to file for the citizenship. You can't remember your address history, right? And this, as immigrants, initially when we come, we move a lot, right? And the citizenship form, you don't want to have any errors because this is a form where they actually go and they check your entire alien file to see what you've put before. So as a matter of caution now, you decide to request your records. So tell us about that now.
Yeah, so go online, do my research. So there's this FOIA, the Freedom of Information Act.
Correct.
Fill it out. It takes like a month or 20 days for all the information to come. While doing that, I was gathering all my stuff so I can file for citizenship.
Mm-hmm.
Then when it came, I looked into the first thing that I saw, abandonment.
So the first thing you see is that you've abandoned the green card.
Yes, I almost passed out.
So this is a form that I was telling you about earlier, which is the I-407 form where you actually abandon the green card. So you see this form now, right? Form has your information. But prior to getting your records from immigration, have you ever seen this form?
No.
All right. Was that your signature on the form?
No.
All right. So this...
It looked like it, but no.
Who was familiar with your signature? That would have...
That's my wife.
And who knows your information such as your address back home, date of birth, your alien number? Who has all of that information?
My wife, because she knows almost everything about me. Yeah. And if you have your spouse, you're not gonna hide nothing. Those things are not gonna hide from me.
All right. And you actually used to keep your documents in a place where she had access to, right?
Yes. If I'm at work and she needs any information, she knows exactly what to do.
All right. Now, this form is saying you abandoned the green card, right? And one of the reasons stated is that you needed your family needs support, right? So you need to return to Jamaica because you need to be able to support your family better. Working in Jamaica versus working in the United States, where you make more money?
Working in the United States prior to come here permanently. I was working at 7 days a week. 7 days a week, 10 hours a day.
Okay.
When I started January 2010, it was $534 a month, and you have to work every day.
Okay.
And it was better. I was living in Jamaica. That's to show you.
All right. So you had to work harder to have a basic life in Jamaica as opposed to working here. Yet still the form says your family needs support. And I would take it that you would have been able to contribute more whilst living in the United States working as opposed to living in Jamaica, correct?
Correct.
All right. Now, the last address, the form actually had the last address that you used to reside at in Jamaica. And she's the only person here that would have known this information, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
Correct.
Now, your green card. Did you always have your green card on you at all times? Because a form requires you to actually turn in the green card. So where was your green card all this time? All this in 2022, this form was filled out in February 2022. Where was the green card?
Remember, it is law by the immigration that you must always have your green card on you because it can cause consequence. So
that is correct. It's a criminal offense not to have the green card on you. You're correct.
Yeah, so I always have it on me. From I get my work permit to green card,
right,
to the first green card to the second green card, I always have it. Always, because if I can stop by anybody, I can show them my permanent resident. Yeah, I always have it on me.
All right, so in reality, your green card, and this is God working now, is always on you. Because if that green card was where you had kept your other identity documents, which she had access to, because you left the house and your documents are there, she would have the ability to turn in that green card. But the form actually said that you lost the green card. Did you at any point lose your green card?
Never.
All right. Now, you decide now, because you see the consequences of this, and it's startling. Anybody would be shocked, because when you did not fill out a form, you're at this point, you're working at your job, right? And you have a very decent job. So now you have absolutely no status. So what are the thoughts now running in your head? Because somebody signed and sent in an application, which immigration actually approved, because it says that you abandoned the green card, immigration received it, they approved it. And now you're nobody in America now. You don't have no green card. So what's running through your head now?
Running through my head is like, first thing, my job. Because without a job, how I'm gonna survive? That's
right. Right?
And then the next thing is like, this thing happened a year ago. A year, 6 months out. This thing happened a year ago.
Right.
So I was like, at any moment now, someone can come and get me.
Yeah.
Always cooking.
So you sleep with one eye open now that you realize you're basically in no man's land, you don't have no status.
And then, at first, I always waiting for that call from HR to say, Kurt, we was looking through something and you're not, what's the word?
Right, you have no legal authorization to work. Just in case they run you on through E-Verify, that's it, you're done.
Yes, so all those things was running through, and then I was like, I forget I have to get this thing fixed.
Right.
I mean, urgent. So I start to go online. So what's the procedure?
Right.
First thing pop up. Once you did that, it cannot undo.
That's right. So now
to do that, you're gonna get a maybe you get an NT notice to appear.
Correct.
Maybe.
Correct.
They said once to do that, you're not eligible for it. You can't get. It's impossible for you to get.
You can't get it at all.
I don't do it.
Right.
And I know I don't. I maintain my innocence.
Right.
So I was.
So you.
I go to like 3 in space of couple days. I went to like immigration law, and they were giving me the run.
Nobody don't want to touch this case. Nobody.
Nobody want to be a part. Nobody want to be a part of it. Before, and then I was like, oh, my sister said, oh, my sister was like, listen, your name, my sister call your everything to her is Antoinette. I was like, okay.
That's true, because your sister had used my services before.
Let me get her information. Get it. It's called, he was in the Bronx, so I make an emergency appointment. It was like at 3 o'clock. I left work, go by you, come by you in the Bronx.
Right.
You said, you know what? It's the first. You said it's the first. You see something.
Because nobody will have this form signed, and they want to even brazen to file for citizenship. But I mean, he always maintained, this is not me. I did not sign this, right? But then this is a man without status. The application is sent in. It was approved by immigration. So you're no longer a green card holder. But you are determined. You didn't do this. So you're filing for your citizenship. And I even had my own hesitation. I said, no, I forgot to do a little research for this, because it's completely new. I have somebody where it is purported that he signed this I-407 form. He's abandoned, allegedly, his green card. Are you bright enough for one file for citizenship? So he had gone to prior attorneys. Them never want to touch the case. Them are running around like a chicken without a head. Nobody really want to touch this.
Anyway, you said, you know what? You pick up your phone, you say, oh, let me call a couple of my colleagues and see. You didn't get any response. They was busy. I said, oh. I was like, what? This is it. What the hell going on with me? I said, yo, why me so sad?
Yeah.
Anyway, you say, you know what? I'm going to get back to you. You're going to go to something, you leave your information there.
Right.
And then I will get back to you.
Because at this point, you have presented something that's totally new. This is someone who had a green card on papers, and this is just taking away everything from what he's saying. The documents are against him. You have an application that has a signature that looks like his, where he has in fact allegedly given up the green card, and bright enough, seeing that there is no status, bright enough want to file for citizenship. How is this possible? But only God. So I even had sent it to your congressman, and you reached out. And what happened when you reached out to your congressman?
I went there, they expedited.
Right.
Expedite the report or whatever. We call him a couple of days. I call.
Right.
I call. Nothing done. Nothing. I email. No response. Nothing. And then.
Mm-hmm.
I was at work. I got a text in the morning from your office.
Right. Right.
And then it was like, your citizenship form is ready. Can you come and sign?
Yeah, because I did my own research and I said, you know what? We are going to attack this and we're going to take... Uh-huh.
Yeah, you did an affidavit, get it notarized and stuff like that.
Yeah, because you see, we have to let immigration see your story. Because nobody's going to believe you, you know? If they just take up the form, they look at the form, no. So now we have to give the history of your life to show them, look, this is the form, it looks like my signature, but this is not me. So now we have to basically explain your life now, why it's not you, what was going on in your life, that this is definitely not your application, right? So you put in the application,
Yeah, and the thing was like the flashback. I said, oh, I know, because the constant threats that she was giving me, you know, she's gonna get me deported and stuff like that.
And she was nearly successful.
Her word, yeah, her word. I remember, oh, so she was, I was like, oh, she was serious, she mean business. Because that's part of the stuff. Like, I left the house like the 24th and the 28th of February.
Right. Yeah.
4 days is like that form was already filled out and waiting. So as soon as I step out, they send it.
So you're in the house, and this is where sometimes, you know, my mother say you must learn to live with the devil. It's something she has always told me. You know, you must learn how to live with the devil. So you're living in the same house, sleeping in the same house, eating in the same house with this person, but yet they're plotting against you. And you will have some US citizens who, because they believe they were the one who accorded you because of their own petition that you got the green card, that they should have the power to take it away. And this is where some of you are living with some dangerous people, and you just don't know how dangerous your spouse is. You're in this house. So you could have been in this house one day. Let me tell you how the plot would have thickened for you, right? The police, because the story was not turning out like how she expected. She wanted, when that fight occurred, because a lot of women under this is woman country, yeah? But sometimes justice has to prevail. It was her intention. Let's say this fight never occurred. Let me tell you what was going to happen to you. You were going to be in that house one day, and let's get real, and you piss her off. And she would have sent to immigration that you're in that house. So one day you could have been home and ICE just turns up at your door and they're here ready to remove you. And this was supposed to be your story. But this sometimes where God sees the injustice and he intervenes. It's not turning out how she anticipated to be. So now we've decided we're going to put in the application. And all this time now, what was your nerves like? Because the first interview don't come yet, but this application is in. And this now is a do or die. You put in the application, someone has signed the form that you've abandoned the green card, yet still you're brave enough, you're gonna face immigration. It's your testimony. This is not you. This is not your signature. This is not even your handwriting, because it was handwritten. This is not you. So now you want to apply, you're anxious, your application is in, you have an interview. So what was it like months going up before the actual interview?
Well, it got to work because I think me putting in an application will trigger it more for them to come and look for me.
So what kind of nights was that in your house sleeping?
Yeah. So it's like me trouble a sleeping lion, you know? Yeah. So maybe they was like taking their own little time.
Right.
To come and get me. Then I remind them. I think it would be like a reminder.
Right.
And then again, it was like I put it in. We put it in October.
Right.
2nd of October. 2023. And then November, 1 month, nothing. Actively, they accept. When it gets accepted, I was like, I'm happy because I think they're gonna turn it. No, they're not gonna take it because I'm illegible or something.
Right.
But I get accepted, and then it's going to actively review.
Right.
For 1 month, 2 months, for January, for November, December, January, February, and then 11th of March. I get the notification said interview is scheduled for April. Then I was like, oh, this is it now. They're gonna grab me when I go there.
That's true because ICE is on the 9th floor, right? But
yeah. And it's scheduled for the 9th floor. That's Queen's floor.
Yeah, that's the Queen's field office floor. Yeah. So now you come here nervous, but at that point, I was actually in Jamaica. So I had to have one of my colleagues cover that morning for you. So you're gonna, how was that? Tell everybody, because right now you're on needles, pins and needles, because this is somebody without status who brave to file for citizenship.
Yeah, in immigrant, in USICS, right in the house, I go right in there. You don't call it bare face, you know?
You're bright. You're bright. Yeah, see him so. Right there, so active. All right.
No, I went to your colleague's office. We prepare our paperwork, print out the whole divorce thing.
Right.
The whole divorce. All my taxes. But I file late. I file like days. I like 3 to 4 days before the interview, before the deadline.
Right.
So the transcript
was not available. Right.
Yeah, so I prepared the full hard copy.
Right.
Print it out, set up our paperwork and stuff, set up everything. Step inside. Then my anxiety. I was inside there literally trembling.
Of course. Bright.
My time they call me in. You know the routine, they're gonna take your green card and the application. They're gonna the green card and the letter.
Right.
The interview letter. They run the green card, then the guy came back and was like,
so hold on. So the officer take the green card now, right? Gone with it, doing whatever. So when him come back now, what's the expression on his face?
He like surprised. I'm like, you have no status. And then he said to to your colleagues.
Yeah, Ed.
Why you file for citizenship? And
Hold on. Make me make the listeners know. So the officer take the green card, because of course he has to verify that he's a green card holder, so he can move to the next level, which is citizenship, right?
Yes, it is not fake and it's legit, you know?
Right. So when the man run the thing now, it said that my client have no status. Why is he here? He doesn't have any status. How is he filing for citizenship? Anyway, what happened next, Kirk?
Then your colleagues explain that whatever happens.
Mm-hmm. So this is bigger than the officer now, because sometimes you're coming now with story that the officer himself don't never encounter yet. So what happened?
Yeah, he explained that he didn't terminate it. Someone unlawfully abandoned his status and he didn't terminate it. So if after the interview can go on, you know, he represents me.
Right.
Yeah, he talked on it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he talked on it.
Mm-hmm.
So the officer said, hold on a bit, I have to go to my supervisor.
Mm-hmm.
He went to the supervisor. He came back immediately and said, okay, all right, let's do the interview.
Mm-hmm.
Interview like 10 to 15 minutes. Even I was surprised because I thought they would interrogate me. So
They don't know what incarnations is going on. So they, are going to be the subject. And we'll get later in the story to find out how he now becomes the subject of a big fraud investigation now. Because here it is that they have the form, it's purportedly signed. So right now the work begins for them. Because what you have to understand is most of the times the officers are assigned the file the morning of. They did not have the chance to do a deep investigation. And this is where sometimes you've been to an interview and you're wondering what's going on. What's going on is they are thoroughly now going to dig you up, thoroughly going to investigate you, because you are, to them, this is like a big fraud case. So this more than the officer know. And we're going to see how this now have to go to a different level now, right? Because somebody who has been allegedly abandoned his status is now looking to go from 0 to 100. You're looking where you're now undocumented. You're looking to go straight to citizenship. You don't have a green card. What are you doing in his office? So interview is done now. And now the real pasa start. So what happens next, Kirk?
anyway, the interview was like, it was like for the interview was, what you must call it, 10 to 15 minutes. It's like people that have status and pretty straightforward. It was like pretty straightforward.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, pretty straightforward. 10, 15 minutes finish. He said, all right, so, you get the end, 336?
Right. So at the end, you get your notice that you have completed your interview, and they'll check that because you passed your test. You fly through the history test because you answered 6 correctly, so they don't have to ask you the whole 10 questions.
And yes, no.
Right. And you do your writing and you also do your reading. You pass it. But nobody can move forward with you because you have...
He asked me what happened.
Mm-hmm.
And I told him, and he don't dig, he don't interrogate, he just said, okay.
Yeah, because you see, you had a male officer. Some men are used to these Jezebels, yeah, that go around and decide they're going to make your life hell. So you provided a legitimate explanation. but then they can't approve you for a oath ceremony. And hold on, love. I'm going a little bit longer because the reason is I want you to see the steps where someone who purportedly had no green card because it was abandoned and he was able to triumph in the end. But it's his story to tell, so I will let him tell it. So now the interview is over. And what happens next?
I able to left the building, which I'm happy because I went there with a hope in mind. So, you know,
right.
This is it.
Right.
It's either they hold me,
right,
or they let me go. It's either they approve me or they let me out.
Yeah.
They hold me.
Right. So because I'll tell for people who don't know, there's actually a holding cell, a little dungeon, which one of my clients, probably I will bring her on air. But no, this is his story. But one of my clients have advised that there's a dungeon down there. She said, Antoinette, me go down there where them hold me every nation. But that was not going to be his story. So you walk out of the building now.
Out of the building, I head home back.
No tarot business, right? All right.
No.
So we hear,
where the nerve wreck. As soon as I get a text, first thing I do, I check it.
Right.
Nothing from them.
Wait game now.
I check my email like a million times per day. I go on the portal like a million times per day. I check my mail, but nothing. So it's nothing like for 7 to 8 weeks. Then one morning.
Right.
And all those times, I didn't call Miss Antoinette say what's going on. I just trust in the process.
Yeah, because they have to do their investigations.
Yeah.
You know, and at the end of the day, it's probably not a new situation for them, but they have a form, they have a signature. It's been approved, and once a determination has been made on a form, you can't withdraw it. So how do we proceed? So now the work begins on their part. Is this really him? Did he sign it? We have to investigate. So now all of this is going to go through handwriting experts. It's gonna go through the fraud department. They're gonna check the legitimacy of the documents. By this time, you're in a divorce. They're gonna check. And they're gonna check the deed, because we had a copy of the deed, and you know your whole story. You know, they're looking through everything he has stated. So time is going now, and then something turns. So
and investigate with people that knows us. Maybe they're going. I think they're going to feel. I think they're going. Yeah. Maybe
of course, you are investigated. There's no way you are in the position of someone without status filing for one of the highest privileges in this country, and you are not thoroughly investigated. But then something happens next, and now there's a turn in your case now. So one day your phone ring and let's go. What happens?
The train going to work was like 7 something in the morning. Saw this 646 number calling me. So I answer. The lady identify herself. When I hear the
USCIS.
I was happy, but you know, a little nervous. So she said, she tell me the department that she works, which is the fraud.
So yeah, hold on. Not run through so quick. So you get, and usually when they call you, the number is blocked, right? And you received a call from an unblocked number. So you happy now, swearing, all right, she identify herself, she calling from immigration, things are going for you, you feel good. But then the woman identify herself and say she calling from the fraud department. Boom.
Yeah.
Right? Because you are the subject of an investigation. So anyway, she said,
Then she said, which day can I come in for a little question and answer to make sure that I am the one I am the one that don't sign the thing.
Yeah. Let's get real. You have no status and you want citizenship. They have to make sure it's not you.
And I must bring my green card and stuff. And the document, the purpose is like, it is what? Document verification.
Yes. Absolutely.
Yes, so I was like, okay. So I think I told her that I will consult with my lawyer first to see, and then to see what she said, and then we'll proceed. And then we said, okay, let's go.
All right, and that's it. We're already here, right? So there's no backing down now. And I mean, I have a client that's very confident it's not him. He has a supporting document. You know, I'm not the type of person I'm going to run from it. I'm going to face it, right? So this is what happens when you have grassroots people by your side, right? So we're not going to back down. We're not going to run. It's not us. We are going. But when he called and he said, they called me, I was like, all right, because he's not used to getting called by immigration. And a lot of people aren't. So most people will think it's fake. And I'm like, no, they will call. And then he says, she sent an email. No, that I was never used to. I've never received an email. And he said, yes, she emailed and she CC'd you. So my days can get very hectic. When I looked at the email, I went into my email, I did see the email from her. And of course, you have the fraud unit. And I responded, absolutely, we are coming in, right? So we're not going to hide. There's nothing to run from. He has to face it because it's a do or die. It's either he's going to stay here and remain as undocumented on an application he never signed, or we're going to run and we're going to face it. And we're Jamaicans. We're going to face it. We're not running, right? So there's no backing down here. We're going. So we can't let, and this is where you cannot let people who are wicked, and they want to destroy your life. You have to know when to fight, and you have to know that you want justice. You know, we want the rose, we want justice. We want our 30,000, we want our justice. Yeah, you must know when you want your justice, you're gonna fight for it. This was not you. So we're going. So me and Kirk will meet, we'll talk, and we'll go. Because of course he can't go by himself. This is not, no, you're going into, this is not your regular interview now. This is, you're going into the fraud unit now. And I'll tell you this, Kirk, which floor was it? It was a 9th floor again? Yeah, I think it was a 9th floor. It wasn't 901, right? So the 9th floor, but it's a different direction. And I remember I said to the lady, I have never been over this section. And I never even know you had this unit here. So when we go now, we see 2 people, right? And
you remember at the door first?
Yeah, she came to the door. That's true. She came first, which is true, because they have to let us in. So she came to the door first, and me and you walk behind her. She was very pleasant, you know.
So Fred sounded that I well relaxed around there waiting.
Right. She was a very, very decent officer. I mean, we don't always get them like that. But she was very decent, very professional. And, you know, and over by her section was very nice, very comfortable office, very proper, right? Proper things now, right? So you're going to a higher end now, not just the regular officers. These are trained fraud investigators. And when we go in, there's another gentleman. He was already in there. I can't remember. He was already sitting. Yeah, well, come ready. And I say this all the time, right? When they're coming for you, you're not gonna get interviewed by one person, it's two people. Because there has to be one to watch you, watch how you answer, your mannerisms, you know, because your body language is also a fraud revealer. So there's one to question you and there's one to watch you intensely. Everything is being watched. It's not just your answers. It's not just your document. Your body language is also an indicator as to whether or not you're actually lying. So we're going now and you're being questioned. So me and you now sitting down in the nice, comfortable, comfortable office. Yeah, very, very professional. So let's go. So she start questioning you now. And she asked, is this your signature? What was your answer?
Remember, not even my signature, I couldn't sign this.
You were so nervous. Oh, at one point I had to say, it's okay. Because the way how he was nervous, he was making all of us nervous. I said, calm down. It's okay, calm down, right? You know, he has to be relaxed because when you're nervous, you just say stupidness, you know. And it took him a while because remember he suffers from anxiety too. So it took him a while, and this, when you suffer from anxiety and you under them sort of pressure, you have to, let's get real. This is a pressure where if this goes south, right? Yeah, you may end up in court. But then if you lose everything, that's it. You're back in your home country. You're back to your 7-day-a-week job, barely surviving. Yeah. And you've already started to establish your life here. Because remember, by this time now, he's in divorce proceedings, right? Because there has to be a determination concerning this house. Yeah, and you know what's so sad? He would have been, but for the injustice, he would have been willing to even walk away. But the injustice and the wickedness you do, you sometimes you will reap your reward. So you can't let injustice prevail. So he's here and he's fighting for his status. And this is what people don't understand. This is not 1, 2, 3. No, you're fighting to reclaim your position here, so that you don't get deported. So you're now before two people who are fraud investigators. So she's questioning now. She's doing her job and she has to question him, right? Because we have a document that's purportedly signed by him. Yeah. And one of the things she said to you is, because remember, with this application, you were supposed to surrender your car. And she asked him, have you ever lost your card? And what was your response?
No, never.
And,
always on me.
And she wanted to see his signature. I think the form actually said that he had taken trips after his last trip in 2019, but he had never traveled, right?
No, that was blank. My last departure date was blank.
The last departure date was blank, and it was 2019, right?
Yeah, so he asked for my passport and checked my last departure date.
Right. So,
and if I filled out that form, passport, I would have put it in there, and that was blank.
Right. So they're reviewing the form. We had to take out back the documents because it seems like the other section, it's two brothers, but two different minds. So the other sections did not send over the supporting documents. He had to say his whole history again with the wife. And
yeah, it was like a green card interview.
Right.
How we meet, living together. And the thing is that when marriage date, where, address, everything. And the thing is that remember the guy was over there on his phone and he said, where you get married? And I was like, it's in Manhattan. And I said the exact date, and they said, yeah.
Yeah,
and I remember it was 11:57, but I said 11:50 Lexington, and he was like, no, it's 11:57. So it was close, so
You're not lying.
Yeah, I'm not lying. I said it was what? Church also, and everything, yeah.
Because it was a religious ceremony. It wasn't
forgiving, they will curse it.
Right. So we're here and we provided the documents. He's answered. Now, the interview after the interrogation was over, and the both officers, it was a male and a female, very professional, and they were very pleasant, and they were still.
Even the guy was sharing stories. I was like, similar to
mine.
So.
Yeah, because thank God he had the experience of a Jezebel. It's good when someone has had that experience. So, I mean, it's always good when you are going through your trauma that somebody else has gone through trauma. So they know it's a possibility that, yes, this can occur. Yeah. And we had exited, right? And then we got a call to come back because I think she needed to copy something.
They want to photocopy the green card and stuff.
Right. For the person who is calling in, I can't take your call. All right. So we left and now it's a wait game, right? We're waiting to find out what's going on. And tell us now what happens.
Okay, so I was, because I'm in this Facebook group about the thing and people sharing the timeline. Timeline, and I saw that people within a month, when they get that a decision cannot be made a month. The G56 form, people have some bad things to say about it. Like, oh my God, what is this? And I'm there waiting. Then they have this thing when they can make inquiry. So I think it was the 7th of August, yes. And then I get the generic email during the workload, blah, 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 blah. 30 or 90 days before I can do another one. Okay? That's gone. So in September, I decided to go and I spoke to Emma.
Right, and that Emma is the customer service.
Yeah, live agent.
Right.
I spoke with the live agent. They said I have to, what is the application status, he said that, you know what? You know what you can do? Just send more inquiry.
Right.
So the next day, I send the inquiry, and like half an hour after, I got like 3 notifications, 3 text notifications.
Right.
Was hesitant to open it, but anyway, I opened it. When I opened it, it was like, old ceremony will be scheduled. In time, no, it's time for old ceremony.
Right.
I was shell shocked. I thought they made a mistake or something don't right.
Right.
Check the other one.
Right.
It was policy. He recommend, the one before was recommend for policy reviews, blah blah. Then it was like old ceremony will be scheduled. In line, it is the same thing. And then a few minutes after I get another one, that the mail, that old ceremony mail was sent.
So how you feel now? It's basically over. All the struggle, all the anxiety, all the sleepless nights, the fear that you're going to open your door because you know when government are come at 6 o'clock in the morning, that you're gonna go outside, somebody going possibly pick you up, or you are going to end up in removal proceedings. All of that is now gone, and you are able to move towards a citizenship. How does that feel?
Okay, to be honest, even if I get an NPA notice to appear, I fit all the evidence that I have and my story,
right,
I will get through.
Right.
It take a little bit more, but sometimes money is, you're just gonna fight. You can make back thousands. Yeah. So
what's your status today?
So that's not the problem. I'm approved.
Right.
But the thing that got my anxiety worse is like when it would be like in a week or week when I look, it is 1 month and 3 days. I was like, a lot of things can happen before this.
So you can't hang out with a bad breed and get arrested now.
Yeah, I have to walk on a straighter line. Sometimes I don't even want to go to work. I just want to stay.
Well, today your situation is different, and just let the listeners know what is your status now.
So
you're now a U.S. citizen, right?
Yeah, my passport is in process.
That's right. So I mean,
I don't update social security as yet. I don't notify my job as yet, but it's gonna take a little time. It was the 16th of October, just a week. It's just a week ago. So
and the worst part is done. You're sworn in, and that must have been the greatest feeling that day, seeing where you're coming from and where a bad mind wanted to put you, and that you have in fact overcome. You know.
Yes, and then the guy that was there, he said, you know what? All of you inside now, you're a U.S. citizen. So with that,
right.
Yeah.
Blessings.
Judge comes in for us in Calico certificate.
Right.
I don't even take a picture. I head straight home.
Happy as a lark, I'm sure.
To know where I'm coming from.
Right.
Remember, it takes like a year. October to October, it takes like a year and 2 weeks. Yeah.
Yeah, this is when you know your application complicated, the additional processing time. Yeah. So, all right. I know you're at work. I thank you so much for doing this.
So, I'll have to say, I'll have to the viewers that was a massive case. You have a massive case under your belt. And anyone trying to acquire your service, make sure they come legit with,
yes,
they come with no messed up case, because those people, they will get.
Yeah, I'm telling you. But for example, I don't know why my office love get the crisis case. Sometimes I have my colleagues and they say, "Oh, I'm like, that's your hard case." She was, I used to have a brethren. Unfortunately, he passed. And he said, "Antoinette, if I did not know you, I swear to God," and he's like, "if I did not know the type of person you are and your integrity, I would have sworn you're lying to me." He's like, where do you get these cases from? Yeah, but it happens. It happens. And I must say, Kirk, I'm so happy for you, and you are truly blessed, because you've been in situations where for other people, especially for men, where they are falsely accused by these women and they get arrested, they are placed in the system, and especially our Black men, where the records for some of them are unwarranted. And I am so glad you got officers who, when they came that day, because usually when they're coming that day, they come for you. Yeah. But it did not end up in her favor that you were in fact arrested. And I'm so happy you were able to overcome. I'm glad your status has changed. And I really believe that you are a blessed person, and I'm truly ecstatic for you. And I expect nothing but positive things for you. You are an exceptionally positive person, and I hope that you continue to remain blessed. All right, so that's it for his story.
Yeah, so they have to come with their legit case, because I'm not surprised if those people went to her job and interviewed.
I'm sure she's investigated.
Her co-workers, listen, I think they do everything, because if they go to our landlord, check cameras, listen, all I can say, when I go to those people, make sure you go good.
Yeah.
Because they decide to think, they will.
Oh, Lord. Trust me. It's an examination. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
And the thing is that, of course, I'm sure that lady sent some bad report to them.
Which lady? What report? What are you talking about?
I swear.
Oh, of course. You were the worst person on this earth. You know how it goes when the relationship sours.
Oh, they're gonna take everything. Your integrity, everything. They're gonna take
absolutely.
Your moral, everything. They're gonna.
Yes. All right, my darling. And thank you for using the office. So when you hear them tear me down out a road.
One of these days, okay?
All right.
Of the whole crew there. So,
all right, darling.
I think you can't come treat for the lunch.
Oh, that's so sweet. But you don't have to. You pay your legal fees already. What one of my clients who actually pay me. All right, Kirk. Let me let you go. Thanks. Bye. All right. So that was his story, and I just think as immigrants, we have to be careful here. You know, you will encounter people who are wicked, you know, simple. You will, but, you know, always be prayerful, you know, always put God first. You put it in an application, you pray, you know. And so just a reminder, this is the last live that I am doing starting November 3rd. That's next week, Saturday. So it's no longer going to be on a Sunday. There's no more Sunday programming. I was able to get a spot on 9:30 a.m. WPAT. So it's going to be in the evenings, but for those of you who are not able to listen in the afternoons, I'm gonna post it, I'm gonna save it, I'm gonna post it so that you can always come back and listen in on YouTube. Unfortunately, I think someone had sent a text message, so let me just answer it. Good morning, Miss Osbourne. How long does it take for a child with a 10-year green card to file for a parent? The child acquired a 10-year via a 2-year marriage. All right, so a green card holder can't file for their parent. They have to be a U.S. citizen and they have to be 21 years or older. Generally, they must wait that 5-year period from the day the first green card is issued. If they, however, go into the military, there are different rules that apply to military people, and they are able to fast track that application. So that's a way to move quickly. I'm gonna see, because of course, you know, it's really challenged. I have to actually find this. Hold on a second. Let me see here. I wanted to. All right. So, good morning, Renee. Good morning, Hopi. So Hopi says, good morning. Someone came in 2008 on a B1 visa. They never went home. Can they get a work permit? All right. So a work permit is not an independent application. You have to have a main application. The work permit is a derivative application. So if they have another application where they can benefit with a work permit, then they would be able to. The fact that you did not go home, and people who have overstayed, because if you are out of status, you can't change status, but you can adjust your status. So people who are eligible to adjust their status, they do get a work permit with the application. If you become a victim of a crime, a U visa, or a sex trafficking victim, or any traffic victim within the rules, then you get a work permit with that. And there are some other applications, not a lot. And this is why we have millions of people who don't have status, right? Morning Sunshine, thanks for telling everyone to like the live. Renee was any charges brought against the wife? Now, if him never lock her up when she crime up, right? My client is like such a humble soul. Him not in all them drama there, you know. What I have encouraged him to do is continue to make his claim with regards to the house, you know. And he's such a sweet soul. He was going to walk away, you know, leave her with everything. But having gone ahead, you try to get him arrested, you do this, yeah, he's gonna fight for what's due to him. And that's something I would have encouraged anyone to do, because you can't let people who seek to destroy your life and bring you down, they must never prevail. And sometimes one thing this country has taught me, yeah, I remember my aunt, who is Trinidadian, she has a friend, right? Very good friend. It's a woman who is self-made. And I remember, I don't know what was happening. It was just like continuous crosses. Just, you know, when you're being attacked, it's coming left, right, and center. Anywhere you turn, Maka juke you. And it was just such a period in my life where I was just like constantly attacked. And she said, I'll never forget it. And it's words that I would put forth to anyone to encourage you or, you know, uplift you. And she said, you have to understand, you have to stop being a victim. And just by my very nature, I am not a victim mentality person, but sometimes when you're being attacked from all angles, you get into this place where you just will become sad and you'll be depressed. But that really takes you nowhere, and it doesn't put you on a platform to elevate yourself. And I'm glad for my friends. I have very supportive friends. Don't have a lot of friends, but the ones I do have, they're very supportive. And I have a good family support system. And I would encourage anyone, if you're going through a hard time, this is where you really need your friends. You need a support system. You need the support system from your family. You'll be okay. You know, it's going to rain today, but the sun comes out tomorrow. So this is our last live. Nothing lasts forever. Always be positive. Always be a blessing to other people. I thank those of you who would come here every Sunday to support. I really appreciate it. But now I'm transitioning. Sorry, I did get a spot back, and I wanted to be on a spot where it's a Caribbean programming, and on Saturdays on WPAT 9:30 a.m. Even though I don't just serve the Caribbean community, I serve, because once you do immigration, you serve a wide cross section of people, and but I'd like to benefit my community. So this is why I take the time out to do this, because information, I always say information is not really shared with us like this. And it takes nothing off me to give you the information. You know, I'm still surviving. So it's nothing to be, and it's something I'm going to encourage everybody. You should try and be a blessing to somebody else. This program is to really uplift people and so that you can benefit. So this is in fact our last Sunday going live. And morning, Christopher, he says, bless up yourself. Our last Sunday live. So starting next week, Saturday at 7 p.m. and every Saturday thereafter. I think I'm going to be the last person in the Caribbean lineup. But if you have the time, you're welcome to tune in. And what I'm going to do, because I think people's experiences, because sometimes you don't just want to hear me, you want to see what happens in the face of adversity. I have lots of clients with these sort of, I don't know where sometimes these Jezebel come from. It's not just the women, the men are, it's like an equal opportunity sort of evil. So I think I'm going to bring, sometimes I'll ask my clients, because it's their, it's their privacy, it's their private life, and I really don't want to invade their privacy. But I think sometimes it will encourage someone, and their story will in fact be a blessing to somebody, so they won't feel so down, that there is hope, it happened for that person, and possibly it can happen for me. And let me just say this disclaimer, which we are required to say as attorneys, that prior outcome does not guarantee a similar result. Basically, what I do for one person, I can't guarantee I'm going to do it for you. The only thing I tell my clients is, because they're like, oh, Antoinette, I tell them I'm not Jesus Christ. I can only do my best to try and help you. Yeah. And it's for you to make a decision whether or not you want to proceed. But all right. So enough is enough. I have thoroughly taken up too much of your time. This is usually a 1 hour program. And I thank my client again for coming on. He didn't have to. But, you know, I wanted his story to possibly be a blessing to somebody else. All right, so that's it. Starting Saturday next week, 7 p.m., I am on WPAT, 9:30 a.m. Hope you can join. Take care. Last live. Have a blessed week. Bye.